Yes, Bev, a lot has happened today in just a few hours, and as we said earlier, the Battersbee family, especially Archie's mother, Holly Dance, she said she would fight this until the very end, so it perhaps comes as no surprise to anybody that they have submitted this appeal to the Court of Appeal this afternoon. It's after they lost their High Court bid this morning. It was about 11:30 they lost that bid, and that was all about transferring Archie from the Royal London Hospital behind me to a local hospice. And the parents feel really passionately about this because they want Archie to have a dignified and peaceful goodbye. They think that's what he can receive in a hospice. The hospital have always said that that's not in Archie's best interest. They say that even moving him in the bed is very difficult, and transferring him to a hospice carries significant risks. That's what both sides said this morning, and the judge at the High Court said she was satisfied that staying at the hospital was in Archie's best interest. I'll bring you a little bit of that judgment. She said, when considering the wishes of the family, why those wishes were held, the facilities at the hospice and what Archie is likely to have wanted, the risks involved in a transfer and the increasing fragility of his medical condition, on a balancing exercise, his best interests remain at the hospital when treatment is withdrawn. So that's what the judge said this morning. Well, after that legal bid failed in the High Court, Holly Dance did give us this statement. She said, "We are broken, but we are keeping going because we love Archie and we refuse to give up on him." The judge then gave the parents until 1:30 this afternoon, so less than 2 hours, to get together a separate appeal, which could go to the Court of Appeal. And we know that the parents have met that deadline. That has now been passed on to the Court of Appeal. We know that it's going to be heard by 2 justices in the Court of Appeal. It's going to be determined by those 2 justices on paper, which means that the judgment will be handed down on paper, presumably to try and make this as quick as possible for everybody involved, because the longer this goes on for, it's almost as though it's the sadder it gets. We've seen the parents come down, Holly Dance come down after every legal application and speak to the press. She hasn't been able to do so for the past 2 days. It seems to be getting, understandably, much harder and much sadder for the family the closer this gets to the end. But ultimately, Bev, these 2 justices will decide this afternoon where Archie Battersbee dies. Will it be in the hospital behind me, or will it be in a hospice? But it is just another few hours of mental anguish for the parents as they wait for that decision.